Greetings everyone for Tech Page 1 and a new domain. I'm Eric Mack, your guide to what's been happening in technology this week, your Sherpa to the hinterlands of innovation, your digital projection in human form, guiding you through our increasingly augmented reality. Now, normally in these little chats, I'll be reviewing one or two of the most interesting and important stories from the past week, but this week has been so dominated by the holidays and, for me, food. Oh, so much food that I've hardly been able to look over the mound of turkey and stuffing and eggnog to even see the tech news. So I figured that this might be a good opportunity since it's the holidays and the end of the year and I could be slipping into a food-induced coma at any minute now. This seems like a good opportunity to take a moment and take a quick look back at a few of the big stories of 2012 that didn't get as much attention as I think they deserve. Those two things are the rise of data and the rise of the crowd. You've surely at least heard of crowdsourcing, crowdfunding, and big data, but we don't hear about them as much as we hear about tablets and mobile and Facebook and Instagram, but that doesn't mean that they aren't there in the background quietly changing everything. The power of big data was most publicly evident in the presidential campaign here in the US this year. The Obama campaign had the most technically adept operation ever, relying on finely tuned data that helped them get out the vote. Now, the Romney camp had a similar system, but it crashed as it came down to election day, and well, we all know how that turned out. And of course, that's just the tip of the data iceberg. There's currently projects underway working with mountains of data to try and do things like predict the future. There's this Australian company, Kaggle. They're looking to turn data science into a sport, inviting the crowd to actually get involved in the big data game. That, of course, leads us to the other winner of 2012, and that's crowdsourcing. It doesn't get as much attention as the latest Apple launch, but crowdsourcing is at the same point today, I think, that social media was at a few years back. It's primed for a really big breakthrough into the mainstream, and we just started to see that a little bit, actually, at the end of this year with some big crowdsourced responses to things like Hurricane Sandy and that tragic shooting in Connecticut. While crowdsourcing might not have been a topic at the dinner table this year, it was getting more lip service in boardrooms around the world throughout 2012. This was a big year for both large and medium-sized enterprises diving into that crowdsourced pool of resources. Everyone from GE to eBay to IBM and even some major banks are starting to increasingly turn over parts of their operation to the crowd. One form of crowdsourcing that grew and gained serious clout this year that you probably heard of was crowdfunding. 2012 was the year of the multi-million-dollar Kickstarter project. It was the year raising money online became the way to create whatever you want, to help whomever you want, whether it's creating a Tesla museum, allowing an abused bus monitor to retire, or launching an open-source gaming console. But that's really just the beginning. 2012 was the year that crowdfunding for equity was legalized in the United States and some European countries. The rules are still being finalized here in the US, but it's expected to go live in 2013. So by this time next year, we'll not only be talking more about crowdfunding, but also crowdsourcing and big data. And I suspect that next time it might actually be happening over the Christmas dinner table with Aunt Ruthie and that glass of eggnog. I'm Eric Mack for Tech Page 1 and a new domain. Have a Happy New Year.